Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick update video on the last Pochette Métis that I bought. I went to, well, let me back up. So I bought the bag on the 1st and I actually received it May 6th. After I posted my video, I thought for sure I was going to keep that bag. I boxed it back up, and then a few days later I wasn't really able to go and look at the bag. I was just super busy, so I was able to pull the bag back out and look it over, and I started trying to I found myself like trying to talk myself out of the bag, and I thought to myself, why are you doing that? You've tried to get this bag numerous times. You finally received one that's good. It did have the glue on the front flap, right underneath, not on the, well, yeah, it did have a spot on the flap and then one below it and then one on the side. And I was able to get that off. So I thought, oh, I'm for sure I'm gonna keep this bag. So I kind of put my stuff in it, and I was trying it on and just making sure that I really wanted to keep the bag. And I started putting my stuff in there, and I thought to myself, there's a reason why I had not been carrying this bag. And it finally like came to mind. And I had taken a trip and I had been shopping all day. I had left early in the morning and I did not get home until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I had been gone all day, so I was having to carry that bag all day crossbody. Open it and close it with the clasp was a nightmare. And I just remember thinking when I got home that night, oh, I hate this bag. I need to get me a different bag that I can, bring with me when I go on trips and stuff. And I put the bag away after that. It is great to travel with on an airplane or whatever. If you carry light stuff, it's great. But having to constantly, if you're shopping and getting your card out or money out or whatever it is, constantly having to open the flap and match it up with the lock so it doesn't scratch the lock and get it pressed in there right, is a hassle. Especially if you're doing a lot of shopping where you're constantly opening that, it's a nightmare. Now, if you're just taking that bag out like to dinner or something, that's great. But an all-day event, I don't think that bag is really good for something like that. So after that trip, I had put that bag up, and then I went on another trip and I ended up taking that bag. And the reason I took it is because it was the only bag I had that was compact enough and small enough for me to carry it and not have to carry this big bag with me, because I had a lot of other bags with me. And I was, it was fine whenever I took it on that trip. I did start to notice that it was constantly cutting in to my shoulder up here and whatnot. So I thought, that's it. This is the last time I'm gonna take this bag on a trip with me. And so I went and purchased the Speedy B25 in the Damier bin. This was several years ago. And I took that bag with me on my next trip, and it was great. I loved it. The strap, it does not cut into your shoulder, and I think it's because it's the leather and it's not the canvas. So back to the Métis that I had purchased, I had noticed that the strap was, very bendable, and, it was not like my old strap. So one day I put all my stuff in there and I put it on my shoulder, and I actually work from home, so I was able to kind of work and wear the bag crossbody, because I wanted to see if it was gonna start to dig into my shoulder like I had experienced with my other bag. And it was okay. You know, I switched my wallet. I will admit that that was probably part of the problem. I was using the Zippy Compact wallet before, and now I have the Zippy Coin purse, and I use that instead for the weight difference, and it was a lot better. Now, I don't carry a whole lot in that bag. I'll carry a mini pochette, a wallet, sunglasses, my phone, car key. That's really it. I mean, you can't really fit like a whole lot, because then the bag will stretch and, you know, it's gonna look funky. So you really don't want to do that with that particular bag. So anyway, I kind of wore it as I worked, and I was thinking, then I started thinking about all the times I went on a trip with that bag and how annoying the bag was with that closure. And I thought, you know, I was kind of lucky, I hate to say that, was kind of lucky that my old bag was recalled and it had the glazing issue, and I was able to get a credit for the bag, and I could pick any bag I wanted, something, you know, that I'm gonna get more use out of, because I have not used that bag since my son is a little over 2 now, and I did use it with him a couple of times, but that's it. I have not used it since then. And so I told myself, you know, instead of being paranoid about something going wrong with this bag, just take it back, you know? And I started thinking maybe I should get a Speedy B25 in the monogram, which I have been wanting for a long time. I just, for some reason, I never can find a good one. So then I talked myself out of it again, and I thought, no, I'm gonna keep this bag. It's probably the only time I'll get another Made in France bag, and you know, it's so bendable. The canvas is completely different. I got the, you know, glue off of it. I'm good. So I started checking it over again, just to make sure, just to double check everything, make sure everything is okay. And lo and behold, the glazing, you know, had the bursted bubbles in it. And I even talked myself into keeping the bag. Well, if anything goes wrong with it, I can always take it back and get another credit for it. Why? Why though? Like, why keep a bag that has so many problems, is what I started thinking to myself. Get a bag that you're gonna be able to keep forever, you know, that you know is probably not going to have a problem with it. So that's why I started thinking about getting another Speedy, because you can fit so much stuff in that bag. It's a great bag. It doesn't feel heavy. It never pulls. Like, it's just a comfortable bag to wear. And so I decided to go to Louis Vuitton yesterday because I had some other business that I needed to take care of there. So I took the purse with me, and I wanted my client advisor to look it over, and I wanted her expert opinion, because in no way am I an expert on Louis Vuitton. You know, I'm just simply a collector, admirer. Like, I'm just trying to give y'all tips on what to look for on your bags to make sure you're getting a good bag, because you're spending a lot of money on these bags, and you want bags that are not defective, that something, you know, isn't going to go wrong with them, which I know you can't tell the future, but there are certain bags, when you see something the way it's made, you're kind of like, ugh, I don't know how that's going to wear over time, you know? So just like little red flags. So anyway, I took the bag in, and I told her, I said, she was like, what do you have here? And I was like, well, take a guess. And she was like, another Métis. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what's wrong with this one? And she's so nice, you know. And I was like, well, you tell me if there's something wrong with it. So she pulls it out, and she looks it over, and she was like, it looks great. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I was like, check out the glazing, because there's like, you can see bursted bubbles that are already in the glazing, and you could really see them. And so she starts running her finger around the bag, you know, and she was like, oh. She's like, I feel bubbles in the glazing. And I was like, you do? And she's like, yeah. She's like, right here. That's generally what I do when someone brings a bag in and asks if there's something wrong with their glazing. I generally run my finger over the bag, over the glazing part of the bag, to see if there are any bubbles in it. And she was like, there is kind of a spot right here. She was like, is this what you're talking about? And I was like, well, that's one area that I saw, but that really isn't what I was concerned about. I'm concerned about the bubbles. You can actually see that there were bubbles in the glazing, but they, you know, popped. And so she started looking at it, and she's like, I can't tell you if there, you know, is going to be an issue with this bag in the future just based on, you know, the bursted bubbles in the glazing. And I said, I just, like, I don't know, my gut is telling me just to let this bag go. I just think it's time. Like, I've had the bag, I enjoyed the bag when I had it, like, it's been to so many different places with me, and you know, I think I just wanted it because I wanted it back in my collection, you know. But to tell you the truth, I never reach for the bag anymore. And you know, now with my son, that I have my son, I just really don't, that's not the bag I'm reaching for. And I just feel like maybe I should use that credit towards a bag that I would definitely use, because usually whenever I purchase a bag, I look at the bag and I think, am I gonna wanna carry that bag in 5 years? Because, you know, if you buy classic Louis Vuitton bags, then they're always gonna be in style. You're always gonna wanna use them years and years and years down the road. I mean, people have had Speedies for like 20 years, you know, and they're still in. So, you know, I always try to think about that whenever I buy a bag, especially one that is particularly expensive. And, you know, the day I was trying it on at home, I kept looking at it, and sometimes I would be like, oh, I just love this bag. And then other times I would look at it and I'd be like, I don't think I like it the way it looks, or I was like, I don't know, I think maybe I would like a Speedy better. For some reason, a Speedy was just on my brain. Like, I just thought, you just need to get a Speedy. So I took it to the store, had her look at it, and then I asked her, you know, do you have a Speedy B25 in the monogram print? And they rarely have them, which is odd. And when they do have them, I always find something wrong with the bag. So of course she had one, but the little piece of, you know, vachetta that comes down in the middle of the bag on the two ends was wrinkly, like super, just, it looked like the bag was squished, and it was just like all ripply, you know, down that. And I was like, ooh, no, I don't want this one. I told her, I said, do you have another one? And she goes, no, that's the only one we have. And she goes, we must have just got it because we didn't have it the other day. And I was like, I really like this bag. I tried it on. I tried it on this side, and I had the Pochette Métis on this side. I kept looking in the mirror, kept looking, and I was like, I think I like the Speedy better. Like, I mean, I don't even know what to say, because you know, it's like you try to get a bag for so long, and then once you get it and it's just not the way that you want it, it's just a letdown. It's such a huge letdown. And I wanted to come on here and tell you guys that I ended up returning the Pochette Métis because of the bubbles in the glazing. I know it's made in France, it was so flexible, it looked great, but I think I'm over the Pochette Métis. I think I can actually say I am over the Pochette Métis. Now, I think if I were to get another one, it would be in the empreinte leather, in the noir. But I don't see myself getting that anytime soon. and it kind of sucks because I put all the effort into finding that bag and getting it, and then having to take it back multiple times. And then, my CA said, you know what, to be honest with you, she was like, I'm so tired of this bag. She was like, everybody has this bag. And I thought to myself, that's weird, because I've only seen one person in this, with this bag. And it just so happened to be recently in the Louis store. So I thought, I've never actually seen anybody else in person with this bag. But in the last several weeks, I have seen 2 people with the Empreinte version in the Noir. And I was like, that's so weird, And so anyway, she goes, I'm just tired of it. She goes, this bag has so many problems. She was like, that glazing, you just never know. And then she even went as far to tell me, she goes, I don't even like the bag in the canvas. She goes, I think it looks so much better in the Empreinte leather. And I thought, maybe that's it. Maybe, because I would always have these mixed emotions when I would look at the bag, like, I don't think I like it anymore. Oh no, I love this bag. I have to have this bag. But I think the part of me that was like, I have to have this bag, was the part of me that was like, it's so hard to get. I have to have this bag, and I know I can get it, So I returned it. I returned the bag. And I will say they must have called somebody as soon as I returned it, because I did end up getting another bag while I was there. And I went over to the other side of the store, and I was looking at some other stuff. And then when I went to walk out, I turned around and I saw a lady putting on the Pochette Métis. And I thought that had to be my bag that I just returned, because she was so quick to just put it on. And I was like, she's not gonna check that bag. But hey, if you go in blindly and buy a bag and not look it over, that's not my fault. I mean, if they're gonna try to sell the bag regardless, if there's something wrong with it, they're still gonna have it out on the floor. There are numerous bags that I have seen out on display that have had something wrong with them. And I'm just like, I can't believe, they would even try to sell this because there's something wrong with it. But hey, they're just trying to make a buck. So anyway, to everyone out there who has watched my videos and followed my story on obtaining the perfect Pochette Métis, thank you for, watching and, staying up to date on what's going on with that bag. But I think me and the Pochette Métis have broken up for good this time. And I will not be looking on the website anymore at that bag. I have noticed since I've gotten that bag, I have looked at it online, and this was before I had returned it, and I have not seen it come up as available on there on the normal times that I have found stuff. So I don't know if they're kind of slowing down production because so many have come out with issues or what. But anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that I returned that bag, and I'm gonna do an unboxing video on the bag that I got instead, and give you a little backstory on that bag. But I'm not going to do that on this video. I'm going to go ahead and just do an unboxing video. So anyways, I hope you'll have a great day. And if you haven't already, please click the like button and hit the subscribe button. And I will see you on my next video. Thank you.